started. I am Coach Kelly J. I'm the coach's coach. I teach the people that reach the people. Today, we're going to be teaching an email marketing and automation workshop to kind of get you acclimated to what email marketing is, what automation is, how to use it, why you need it, basically all the things that we can cover in a 30 to 45-minute segment with questions. That said, I do want to take a moment to acknowledge and introduce my team who is here. We have Tanisha, who has just popped on here. Hey, Tanisha. So we're just doing intros and whatnot. She is our program director. So you've probably, you have gotten emails from her, whether you know it was from her or not. You've gotten emails from her. And we also have Pam, who is another member of our team. You've gotten emails from her too, you just don't know it. So Tanisha and Pam are our team members here today. We have a very close-knit team. We have fun. We love being able to have a function in a business that changes people's lives and in their world so they can change their corner of the world. So who is this workshop for today? It is for coaches, it is for consultants, it's for course creators and service providers who know that establishing an email communication and constant communication with your, my phone would want to ring right now. 1 second. I only turned it on to make sure that Tanisha was going to be on here. I had turned it off earlier. but to show you how you need to be in communication with your community to have that personal touch, that high touch. That's one of the elements that a lot of businesses are missing these days. Of course, you know that there's been such an influx of course creators, coaches, consultants, all the things. But when we can set ourselves apart with having that high touch, having that communication, establishing really the roots of that relationship, these are little things that aren't really written anywhere, but that set you apart, okay? So that's one of the things we're going to be covering today. But that does not mean that there's not elements of what you do that can't be automated that still feel high touch once they're set up. For example, for those of you, and it won't be everybody here, I'm sure, but some of you guys saw me advertise this workshop, this free workshop on Instagram or on Facebook. And I said in the advertisement, hey, I'm having a free workshop on automation, DM the word automation. Well, the system that we use, Coach Growth Solutions, I have it set up to where when you DM'd me the word automation, it sent you back immediately, automatically, automated, a response that says, congratulations, you've gotten one of the spots. Here's the link to join. Now, if I had 50 people sending me automation and I had to send me that keyword and I had to sit and respond to all of them, what would that take too much of, y'all? My what? Time. It would take too much time, but it took me about 5 minutes to set up that automation. And so can you imagine if you have keywords like that all the time? This gnat is going to have its way today. Can you imagine if you set up automations like that within your account, depending on what account you use? Like I said, we use Coach Growth Solutions, and that when you're doing content on social media, whether it's live, pre-recorded, or whatnot, or even a static image, if it says DM me the word, whatever the word you pick, and then within your system, it can do all the work for you from there. Would that be good or good? Yes or yes, y'all? It's like having a whole nother employee that's doing that. That's the beauty of automation. And that's just one element of it. All right. So let's get into it. Y'all know y'all are supposed to be sending emails. Y'all know that, right? I asked at the beginning before you even got on, Tanisha, I was like, who's sending emails? There's more no's in the chat. Scroll on up. There's more no's in the chat, but you want to have this personal brand, but where you at? How are you talking to the people? So you know that you're supposed to be sending emails with valuable content to the people on your list, right? In building your list. But the truth is, most people aren't. It's not just y'all. Most people are not, right? And you need to be doing that at least once a week. So here's what I find. You're either in one of three buckets. You either don't know that you should be sending emails at least weekly, or you know you're supposed to be sending them, but you don't really know how to set it up, right? Or you know that you know to know how to do it, but you probably don't know how to automate it so that you're not emailing all these people. Say that you've set up a MasterClass of some sort, and you know that when they sign up for your MasterClass, you want an email to go over to them to say, confirmation, congratulations, you're signed up for the such and such and such. Here's the link. We've all received those, right? But are you sending them? And if you were sending them, does it make your brand, your company, does it give you polish? Does it have a professional feel? Could you probably charge more if you had that professional feel and that polish, and people didn't have to hunt you down and say, well, I paid for your class, but I don't even know where I'm supposed to log in. These are all the things that happen when we don't have an automation. And so that's why we're here. So is it okay if we give y'all some free content today and not just talk about it, but go on the back end of the system we use and show you how to do it? Or would that be too much? Would it be too much? Now, don't go getting overwhelmed. We're not signing up to get on the struggle overwhelm bus. We're not doing that here, right? So we're going to teach you this in 3 steps. Got my little notes over here. We're going to teach you in 3 steps. The first thing you need to do when you're stepping into this email and automation world is you need to select what platform you're going to use. What platform am I going to use? This isn't from your Yahoo. It's not from your Gmail. It's from your business account. What platform am I going to use? So that might be ConvertKit. It might be MailChimp. It might be, what are some of the others, you guys? Type in the chat if what you're using or other ones that you might know of. ConvertKit. What are they, Tanisha? Okay, Samantha's using ConvertKit. MailChimp. I don't know. I think those are Wix, ActiveCampaign, Infusionsoft. Okay, Coach Growth Solutions, which is what we use. That's also what Shirley uses. ClickFunnels, MailerLite. Yeah, so there's several to pick from, and they all have their things that they offer. But most typically what you're looking for is you're looking for a system that can tag people. What does that mean? That means when somebody comes into your ecosystem, you want to be able to tag that person, meaning identify them by what action they took. Did they sign up for a class? I'm sorry, Tanisha, could you, wait a minute, let me share with you so you could get on the mute ministry. Wait a second. But you're listed, no, you're listed as Tanisha. All right, there we go. All right, if you could just take care of the mute ministry for me. So you want to make sure that it has the capability to tag. That means when someone comes in your system, you are identifying them by they did a thing. So as you guys signed up for this workshop, in our brand and Coach Growth Solutions, in our system, we know that each one of the squares on here are people, and they all came to this particular class. And so anything that you've done before coming to class today, anything that you'll do with our brand after class, we have that profile in the system that's what you've done. Is that valuable to know, right? That's why you want to have tagging and incorporate tagging in your business. Everybody should have tags to their clients. You also want to look for a system that has automation. You don't want just the functionality of it. You want it to be automated so that when people are signing up for things, they get that confirmation email. They get an email 2 days later with maybe some value that's going to prime them of what they need to know before coming to class. The day of the event, you want them to get an email that morning. You want to get an email an hour before, maybe 15 minutes before. Who's ever been on the receiving end of this? To know what I'm talking about, right? And so you get your reminders, you may get a text, all the things, you know where to be at. They tell you what time to be there. Oh, that's automation. That's running a business. And then you want it to be able to also analyze your data. Why is that important? It's important to be able to analyze your data because you need to know of the emails that you're sending, what is the open rate? Let's call it open rate. How many people are opening that? And that would be dictated by what was your subject line. Like what am I talking about to my community that they find value in enough of it to open it? Because I don't know about y'all, but I get a lot of emails. Do y'all get a lot of emails? And so you're scanning that email and you're opening it by what? What does the subject line say? So you got to be creative on those subject lines. But the main three things, somebody just typed automation, and I'm here on the class with you, but they're going to get the link to this class and we'll see them in a minute. That's the beauty of automation. All right. So you want to make sure your system tags, automates, analyzes your data. Number two, you want to decide what emails need to be automated. What emails need to be automated? For example, look, there they are. Welcome. Right? I told y'all that's how it works. Is there a better example than that? That's how it works. So you want to be able to what was I saying? Oh, decide what needs to be automated. So every one of you guys, hey, Aunt Travis, welcome, welcome. She wasn't the person that just came in, just so y'all know. You want to have a welcome sequence, right? A welcome sequence is when somebody first subscribes to your email list. Say that you have a freebie that you've created for them, a free piece of content to get them on your list. When they get on your list, there needs to be an email that goes out that says, welcome to my community. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is how to utilize that freebie, that free piece of content that was just sent to you. And then maybe 2 days later, hey, just checking in on you. Did you watch that freebie? Did you listen to it? Whatever the thing was. And so over a course of maybe 10 to 14 days, you want to have a series of 3 to 5, depending on how long your welcome sequence is. You want to have 3, 5, maybe 7 emails that goes out over a specific period of time so that they are nurtured and they feel like, oh, she's got the goods. She's got the gems. These are value emails. These aren't selling anything. This is your welcome sequence. And so when they come into your system, if y'all are with me, say yes in the chat if it's making sense to you, right? You've been on the receiving end, but now it's time to be on the creating end. I see you, Jackie. I see you, Shirley. So when they come in, you're going to tag them welcome sequence. So, and then you can set up your system to that when that 14-day sequence is over, remove this tag from this person so they're no longer in your welcome sequence. They go into the general population of other emails that you sent out. Y'all with me? Yes. All right. So you want to have your welcome sequence. Another type of email you want to have is a weekly value email. That weekly value email also isn't necessarily selling anything. You could have a box at the bottom after you've given value that says, hey, we're having a such and such and such and such, or hey, I have this workshop going on, or I have this class going on, or whatever. But the weekly value email is an email that should be sent out every week, typically on the same day. They need to expect it. You guys who have favorite shows, I'm not a TV watcher, I'm a book reader, but I'm a bookworm. But for those of you that have TV shows, you know what night that show comes on, you're expecting it. So if you're sending out value emails every week, then you become the value source to that person, right? So you could, at the beginning of the month, you should be setting up your emails for the month. Who wants to learn how to do that? Yes, in the chat if you want us to show you that today. Like to legit show you, not just talk about it. Okay, and those of you that are already using Coach Growth Solutions, you're going to find value in seeing how to set up your weekly your weekly email sequence for the month or for 2 months or for whatever. So, and I expect y'all to be setting those up today. or at least within the next 2 days to go out. Now, I say weekly email sequence, but there's some companies, and I'm not going to put this kind of pressure on you, but there's some companies that send out a value email every day. What? Coach Kelly, ain't nobody doing that every day? Well, listen, my good friend ChatGPT can help you out with that, right? Who's using chat already? Who's using ChatGPT already? You can go over there and say, this is my buyer persona. This is my target market. Create 7 days, or let's do it like this. Create 3 emails for me that are based around value only, that are not selling anything. Tell it to create 3. It's going to give you those, and you can look and say, oh, I like number 3. I don't like 1 and 2. Then you can say, give me 3 more that are more along the lines and voice and feel of number 3. And so you can keep asking it like that until it gets your voice that you want it to have, and then say, we're there. Give me 30. Are y'all with me? All that can happen in like 30 minutes. And then you just go over to your system and you input that in, and it looks like you are really contacting your community every day. And you are, but you're leveraging the system and the tool that you're using to do that. Okay. All right. The next type of email is a confirmation email. Confirmation email is basically when you sign up for a thing, you get an email back immediately that says, this is your confirmation. You bought the thing, you signed up for the thing, you registered for the thing, whatever action it is you took that people need to know, yes, I did it. No, I didn't. It's like the receipt, if you will. It's like an electronic receipt. And then the last one we'll talk about today, because we do want to save time for actually showing you some stuff. If y'all want to see it, I don't know. Y'all are kind of quiet. Y'all are fluid into the system like this. I'm like, I don't know. Am I boring them? Are they getting it? Are they taking notes? Like, what are we doing here? I just need to know. So the last one is, type yes in the chat if y'all are going to want to see an example. I don't know if they want to see an example, Tanisha. Some of them do. Let me see. 3 people. Okay, we might have 10 now that want to see an example. So I think go ahead and crank it up, Tanisha, so we can get ready to show you the tech side, because Tanisha does the tech.
I'm ready for it.
She's ready. So the last one I'll talk about is the sales sequence. The sales sequence, wait a minute, let me back up. Do y'all sell stuff? Do y'all sell stuff? Do y'all want to make money? Yes. Do you want people to buy the stuff? When they buy the stuff, do you want them to know where to go to get the stuff? Or do you want them hitting you up in your DM saying, I can't find it because you didn't have an automation set up and you got other things to do? But if you set this up, it just makes it easier. It's about leveraging your time, guys. Automation wasn't even always a thing. So now that it is, let's leverage it the way it's supposed to be, right? So sales sequence is, say that you are having a workshop or MasterClass this Saturday. Well, as you're advertising it, you need to, you advertise it, click the link in my bio, what have you. When they sign up for it, they're going to get that first email that could be the confirmation, but since they're going to get more than one email, or should, that's going to be a sequence. So they're going to sign up. They're going to get an email immediately that says, you signed up for this thing. Congratulations, blah, 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 blah. Then days leading up to the event, in the morning of, the hour before, the 15 minutes before, like I was saying a few minutes ago, that would be a sales sequence, right? And or after the event is over, say that you sold a thing at the end, there's going to be an email sequence that goes, look, somebody else just signed up. We'll see them in a minute because I'm here, right? But they're going to get the link because I've leveraged the automation. So when they come in, hey, glad you could join us, right? But it's leveraging that. So after someone comes to an event, you want to send follow-up emails once it's over, but you want to put those in place before the event happens. So you could just sit down and say, all right, this is the event I'm having. It's just tangible things. This is the event I'm having. I need to have X number of emails leading up to that event to make sure they get there. And I need to have X number of emails after that event. Hey, welcome after that event, so that what was I saying? Oh, they are going to buy the thing that whatever it is you're selling. So how many of you guys have been on a webinar, workshop, or something, and they sell a thing and you didn't buy it, and then you get emails after? All right, this is being offered for 5 days. All right, now we're down to 3 days. Now we're down to 2 days. And then on the last day or sometime within that time frame, you bought the thing. Anybody? Has it happened to anybody? Yes. And you were the receiving end of it. But if they did not have that automation set up, because I promise you, they were not sending you those, they got off that workshop and they went on about their business. But because they took time, they were aware and they took time to leverage automation, they're able to run their business more efficiently. Does that make sense, y'all? Does it make sense? Who's feeling like I need this automation thing in my life? Show me more, show me how. Okay. Renita says me. All right. And then step 3 is to actually set it up and automate it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask Tanisha, our program director, to take over. Let me see what time is it, 4:26. All right, we're good on time. I'm going to ask her to take over, and she is going to legit show you some of the automations that I've talked about today. Now, this is how this is going to work. Some of you guys already have your Active Campaign, your MailChimp, your ConvertKit. Some of you guys are using Coach Growth Solutions, what we call CGS. So if you hear me say CGS, that means Coach Growth Solutions. It's an all-in-one platform that has all our everything, our website, our email, our text, our phone, our everything. We run our entire business. It is the engine of our business from there. Some of you guys are on that. Some of you guys are going to be interested in it after seeing this. If that is you, you can just stay on at the end of the call and we'll tell you about it. If that is not you, no worries. You still learned what you need to be doing in your email system. And once Tanisha is finished, we'll end the call, that part of the call, with that. Okay. And then those of you that are interested in seeing what it would look like to use the software that we use and some of the other ladies on here also use, you would just stay on the call. Fair enough? Yes, yes. All right, Tanisha, you can take it from here.
All right, let me share my screen in just a second here. And I think a few people hopped on after Coach Kelly's introduction. So if you missed it, I am Tanisha, the team's program director. I see somebody else just hopped on too. So I'm just going to take a few minutes to show you guys some examples of building out and automating these emails that Coach Kelly just told you about. So first, I'm going to show you the basics of how you can create and schedule your weekly value emails for the month or 2 months, however you want to do that, week, whatever. Then I'll briefly cover email sequences, and then we'll take a quick look at what an automated confirmation email could look like in your business. So let me share my screen. All right. Can y'all see my screen? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. I see some.
Yes.
Thank you. Let me hide this. All right. I'm going to move us out of the way so I can see here. All right. So first thing, weekly value emails. So like Coach Kelly was mentioning, let's just say you want to send out a value email to your audience once a week. Again, some people do more. Some people do daily, but we'll just play it safe for right now. Just say for once a week for a whole month. So you can truly get a handle on your workload and actually get ahead of that to-do list that you have just by taking like an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, a little bit more maybe, and bulk creating those emails and go ahead and getting them scheduled. So you'll see here, this is what it looks like in our system, Coach Growth Solutions. So this is the back end here, and I'm just going to show you what it'll look like for you. Again, don't feel, overwhelmed if you don't have Coach Pro Solutions, or if you don't yet have a system to do this, or if you don't have, the system here. It's the idea of knowing what type of emails you need to have set up and how to get them out. So you'll see here that I have weekly value email, July 2023. So I'm trying to set these up for the entire month. I have email 1, email 2, and email 3 here. And I'll just quickly open one of these. It's funny because I don't think Coach Kelly knew that I did this, but she just briefly mentioned how easy it is to just use ChatGPT to build out your emails. So before I hopped on here, that's what I did. Just so you can get an idea of what a value email looks like. Like she said, you're not necessarily selling anything. You're just really trying to give value to your audience. So I'm just going to open one of these. Email 1. My email's being a little slow. It just finished storming out here, and I'm just thankful the power didn't go out. So we're going to take it. All right, so I just very quickly, I had like 10 minutes before I hopped on here. I went into ChatGPT and I just said, create a 4-sequence value email sequence for a life coach. That's what I did. Now that was very basic. So if you've already used ChatGPT, you have to prompt it and really fine tune it. But this is just an idea of what those emails could look like that you're sending out once a week, same day, every week. So again, you're not selling anything. You might be putting a freebie in there. You're just providing value. And that is what this would look like. And I'm just going to show you quickly how to build one from scratch. All right, so I have my 3 here, and I'm just going to say create campaign. And it's going to ask me basically if I want to use a template or start from scratch. So I'm going to start from scratch here. And the first thing you'll want to do is name that email. I know it seems like a small thing and it seems trivial, but you're going to want to look for that email again. You're going to need it, and you may want to use a template. So make sure you're naming your email something that you can remember. So I'm just going to put weekly value email, July 2023, email 4. Right, so I'm just going to delete this. We can truly start from scratch. So you may want to come in here and you may want to add your logo at the top of your email. So I'm just going to drag. Uh-oh. All right, there we go. I'm just going to drag an image element over here. I'm going to click on it. And I'm just going to throw in our logo. Now that's huge. Please do not send out an email with a logo that big. So I'm just going to bring this down to like 50. I'm just going to make it small. Okay, and then you may want to also add some sort of picture or banner that's on brand for your brand. So I'm just going to drag another image block over here. And inside of Coach Pro Solutions, if you have your images already in this folder, they'll pop up right here, just like you saw me grab the logo. But if you don't, you could also just use this drop down menu here and switch it over to Unsplash. And you can just type in a keyword, whether that's computer or woman on phone or Black, however you want that to look to fit your brand, you can type in any sort of image. And I have a banner already created here. I'll just throw that in there. Again, not taking up too much space.
Real quick, can you show them that search feature? Like if they put in woman on computer, the options that they have. Yeah.
I'm going to replace this and switch it to Unsplash. Search something, I'm going to say woman on. And as soon as I type that in, all the images of a woman on the computer will pop up. And you can use either of these. So if you just click on, let's just say the first one you see here, and it'll replace that image. And again, you can search anything. Unsplash has a very, very extensive library of quality stock images. I was using Unsplash before we ever even had Coach Growth Solutions. I still use it. So very, very good platform to get images from. So you may want to have your image here, and then I'll go back and I'm just going to slide a text box in here. And then you'll have your heading, you'll have the body of your email. I think I'm moving faster than my computer wants me to. All right. And I'm just going to change this to make it a little bit smaller. And a lot of email building services allows you to insert a custom value, which is very good for personalizing your email. So instead of just saying, dear client, or, just something very generic like that, you can actually put in their first name. So it's a lot more personalized. So here I would just put in a custom value and say contact first name. So whoever gets this email is going to have their first name at the beginning of the email. So I'll put a comma here, and then we'll have our text in the email. And then we can swap places here, put the image up higher. I'll move this to the side. And then let's say you want to add your social icons down at the bottom so they know how to follow you and interact with you if they aren't already. And then I will save this, and we'll go back out to the main folder. All right, so now we have all 4 weeks of our content created, of our emails created. So very, very simple. We'll go in and schedule each one of these for the month. So I have my email 1, and I'm going to go back in and open. And I'm going to hit send or schedule. And I'm going to schedule this for, we'll just say today. So today's Wednesday. So we'll schedule these for every day at every Wednesday. I'm just going to change this to 9. You'll put your from email. So I'm going to put it in. Then you'll put in your subject line here. And then you want to put your recipients here. So you can choose to send it to all of your contacts. You can choose to send it to a smart list, which is a segmented list based on some sort of action that client performed. Or you can choose contacts from a specific tag. So we'll just say all contacts here. And it won't actually give me the option to schedule it because this is our demo account, but it would, you would just hit schedule and it'll be set to go out tonight at 9 o'clock. And then I will just come back in. And I would do the exact same thing for the remaining 3 emails. So then you have all 4 of your emails set out for the month. You can do it for 2 months. You can do it for 3, however much time you have to just kind of get ahead of that, you can set that up and be done with it. So that's the first type of email. Let me move us over here.
Did we simplify that for you guys? Yes, in the chat, if it's simpler than you thought that it could be. Let me get my chat up real quick.
Pull up my chat with you. Okay. All right, so The next email and automation that I'm going to show you is the email sequences. So email sequences are just a little bit different than basically like these one-off emails that you would schedule individually. An email sequence is going to be a series of emails that are set to go out on a set schedule. And that's usually based on the email before it. So you can have a welcome email sequence for someone that signs up for your email list. So that way they'll get a series of 3 to 5 like warm introductory emails, welcome emails over the next week or so. You can have a sequence created for an event such as a workshop. You can set up your sequence for a post workshop. So after your workshop, and if you want to send out a series of emails that just say, thanks for coming, or if you missed it, here's what you missed, or anything that you want to put in those emails that go out after your workshop or event that you have. But with either of these, however you want it, whatever you want it for a sequence to work, you'll have to basically subscribe or tag your contacts to that sequence for it to start. So let me get over here. Okay. All right, so now we are on the back end of Coach Pro Solutions, ready to build out an email sequence. So for example, on the platform of your choice, you may want to set up an automation that says, when this person signs up on my email list, subscribe them to this welcome sequence, or subscribe this entire list of people to my workshop email sequence that invites them to attend, or subscribe the people that actually did attend to the sequence to get the post-workshop email. So it's a lot of different ways that you can configure an email sequence to work for you in your business. So this is what it looks like, again, on the back end of Coach Pro Solution. And I'm just going to start by adding what's called an event to this campaign or sequence. You can use campaign or sequence interchangeably, just so you're not confused. And you'll see here that Coach Pro Solutions gives you a lot of different options of how you want to start that sequence. You can send a text, you can send an email, you can call. So a lot of different opportunities here. But we're going to stick to email just for the purpose of the workshop. So I'm going to create my very first email. All right, so this is going to be email 1. I'm going to put our subject. Let's just spell it right first. Subject here. And email 1 here. And then I'm going to save this. All right, so the thing with email sequences is they're usually set up so that once, like I was saying before, once you subscribe or tag that person or that set of people or set of contacts to this sequence, you set it up to either start immediately or after a certain amount of time, after a certain amount of days. So for example, let's say it's a welcome sequence. As soon as someone signs up to your email list, we want to send this very first email immediately, but we don't want them to wait. We want to send it immediately. So I'm going to set this to immediately here. So they've gotten their first email in that welcome sequence. And then let's say you want to send another one out 24 hours later. So I'm going to add another event here. Again, do an email. All right. Email 2, close here.
But just as she's setting that up, she could also set a text up to go out immediately. Welcome to our whatever the thing is. Like I signed up for someone's challenge at the end of this month. I signed up for it last night. I got an email and I got a text immediately.
All right, so email 2 is set up here. I'm going to save it. Now, this part is very important. Depending on which platform you're using, the setup can look a little different. I know for some platforms, it'll say if you want to set up this second email, it'll say, okay, send this 24 hours later. But that 24 hours after means from the time that person is subscribed to this sequence. In Coach Growth Solutions, if I set this to send after, and I'll set it to hours, and I'll put 24 hours, that says minutes, hold on. Inside of Coach Growth Solutions, to send it 24 hours after means to send it after this first email has gone out. So not from the time that they've subscribed and they've started the sequence, but from, you're basing it on the time that the previous email went out. So email 1 goes out immediately. Email 2 goes out 24 hours after email 1. So just make sure in whatever platform you're using, you're clear on how it needs to be set up. You can ask me how I learned the hard way in Coach Growth Solutions. So again, I'll just add a third email, or maybe I'll just shoot a text here. I didn't want to do that one. I'm going to do the first one.
Now, let's say this, in order for you to be able to send them a text, when they sign up for your whatever the thing is, you have to ask for their phone number. That's what activates them being able to do that. So make sure in this platform or whichever one you're using, you're capturing their their telephone number as well.
And I would say, even if the platform of your choice doesn't have like texting capabilities or anything just yet, I would still ask for those phone numbers, because you'll find yourself using a platform that does have it, and you're like, oh, I wish I had phone numbers for all of these contacts that I've, grown my list. So I would still ask for them, even if you're not going to use them immediately. You don't have to make it required, but I would still have that field on there to grab those phone numbers. So here. Say it. And let's say I want to give them like a day break between, sending them things, and then I'll just set this for 48 hours after. So now this text here means 48 hours after email 2 has gone out. So it's not 48 hours from the time that someone has been subscribed to the sequence. It is 48 hours after the previous event has happened. So email 1 is immediately. Email 2 is 24 hours after email 1. And then this text goes 48 hours after email 2. So each one is based on the time frame of the one before it. So there's a lot of different ways that you can configure an email sequence to work, and you can set up as many as you need to automate your business.
And those time frames would be dictated by what it is, what campaign you're in, like what action is going on. Make sense, you guys? Yes. I know this can get somewhat technical, but we wanted to not have a fluff workshop around this. We wanted to be able to really show you this is what you should be doing in your business, no matter what system you're using. Right?
All right, the last type of automation email I want to show you guys is your automated confirmation email. So this is what Coach Kelly was talking about, when you get those emails that say, hey, thanks for purchasing XYZ, or thanks for signing up for this event. Here's what's next, basically, or here's what you need. So that's what this email will look like. So I didn't want to confuse you guys too much or overwhelm you guys too much. So I went ahead and I created what is called a workflow inside of Coach Growth Solutions. And a workflow is basically just like a series of triggers and actions. So, and usually with any type of automation on any platform, they all operate on if this happens, then do this. So the if this happens is the trigger. So once that trigger happens, then you want something else in action to happen after that. So for example, if someone places an order for a product that we have, you'll see here that I have my trigger is order is submitted. And I'll click this here just to show you the different types of triggers that you can have within Coach Growth Solutions. So it can be when a customer books an appointment, send them this email. Or if a contact is tagged with this specific tag, send them this email or send them a text or anything. You can do if a customer replied to a message that you sent, or if a form was submitted. So say you had a wait list set up and you wanted people to get on your wait list, somebody signed up, you want to send them an email afterwards. You can set that up as a workflow. So it's just a bunch of different triggers that you can have here. When someone joins a membership, if you have like a boot camp or something like that, you can set up a trigger for that. So you'll see there's a lot of different triggers that you can use in post-growth solutions. But for the sake of this demonstration, we'll just say someone purchased an order. So my trigger is order was submitted. And ideally, you will go over here to filters, and we don't actually have an order set up in here because it's a demo account, but you would say order is or product is, and then you would pick what it is, the name of it. So all the offers that you have, any products that you have would show up here, and you would just select the one that you want the trigger to start for. So once the order is submitted, then my first action will be to send them an email.
Uh-oh, somebody's joining us.
Uh-oh, missed a lot. So I have the email already set up, and it's basically saying, okay, you're in, your order's inside, or whatever you want your subject to be. Again, something more interesting. And I'm using my custom values here, so it'll have their name. So Pam, congrats on grabbing this product or offer name. Here's your next step. Here's step 1, here's step 2, sign your name. If you need to send them a link to, join a private Facebook group, or if you want to have them anything that they need to move on to the next step after purchasing that product or offer from you, you want to put it here, and you want it to be as detailed as possible. Like you say, you don't want to, purchase something. You're like, wait, how do I get it? Or when does this class start? Or what do I need to do next? You want to just have all the details here. So super, super easy. Once you have that automation set up, as soon as someone purchases, they get their welcome confirmation email, and they're good to go. And that is how workflows work in post-growth solutions. And I believe that's it on my part. So I'm gonna hand it back over to Coach Kelly. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Okay, yay. So y'all give Tanisha a hand for being able to show us how the back end of the tech works, no matter what system you're using. So what I want to do now is open it up for maybe 5 minutes for questions. And then we'll let, the people who have to go, and then the people, if there's any people that want to stay and hear about what it would look like to use the system that we use, what that investment in is, all that, we can take it from there. All right. So you could just raise your virtual hand if you have a question. All right, Samantha.
Tanisha, do you feel like having the full workflow is the best way to go, or should we break it into smaller chunks, right? So for instance, if you were signing up for a class, do you think it makes sense to just do like, sort of pre-class, that's your first set of workflow, then like post-class, and then have a separate workflow? Or do you think we should just build out a really long workflow that takes them from soup to nuts?
I think it's really a personal preference. I prefer to have everything in one workflow. It just makes it easier for me to see the entire workflow from start to finish. So once someone signs up for something, send them this email. And then I didn't show you guys in the demonstration, but in post-growth solutions, there's a trigger that says wait. So it'll basically say wait until this specific date, or it'll say wait until this amount of days. So it can be like, wait 30 days, and then the program's over, send this email, or start sending follow-up emails. I like to see it all just built out in one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Shirley.
Okay, this is something that I've had an issue with, and so I'm asking, can you send someone back through a workflow if they've already been through it? And how do you do that?
So yeah,
Tanisha,
oh, yep. It'll
Okay.
depend on the platform that you're using.
With Coach Growth Solutions.
Yes. So with Coach Growth Solutions, there's an option in the settings of your workflow. So when you go to your workflow, you'll go to
Okay.
settings, and there's going to be an option that says allow multiple. Let me tell you exactly what it says. I don't want to make it. I don't want to make
Okay.
it up. Hold on. It says, okay, for a workflow, it says allow reentry. That's what it is.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we had some for Tiffany.
So on
We're
workflows,
supposed
it's
to go
allow
through twice.
reentry, and then
Okay.
for campaigns, it's allow. You'll see it says allow multiple entries or something like that. The copy's a little different for both between a campaign and a workflow, but you'll
Okay.
see it in the settings for both of them.
Okay.
They mean the same thing. So yeah, someone can come through more than once.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, any other questions? Samantha?
Tanisha, can you tell us the difference between a workflow and a campaign, or are they sort of interchangeable depending upon what's going on?
So a campaign is going to be like your email campaign, so more like a sequence. So it's like that series of emails that you're setting up to go out based on the one before it. A workflow is a lot more, it's a lot more robust, it's a lot more detailed because it's more than just an email. It's saying when this person signs up for this workshop, tag this person, and then email this person, and then send this person a text, and then wait 10 days and then send them this email. So it's a lot more extensive inside of a workflow.
Great explanation, because I don't know how I would have answered that. So great explanation. I know what the difference is, but I don't know that I would have been able to explain it like she did what the difference was. All right, any other questions, you guys? Going once, going twice, any other questions? All right, I see Shirley typing. Thanks you so much. Oh, you are so welcome. All right, for all intents and purposes, thank you, Renetta. For all intents and purposes, the workshop is over. For those of you that either already have our system or have gotten what you needed to get here out of the workshop today,